All right, welcome back. Today, we're jumping into something that's, absolutely essential for anyone navigating the crypto space. We're talking about a quick but super powerful sanity check that you can run on literally any token to get a handle on its real risks. Let's get right into it. So picture this. You're on a block explorer, you're checking out a new token, and you see it, that little green check mark that says verified contract. And you probably feel a sense of relief, right? Like, okay, this is legit. But here's the question. What does that really mean? Does a verified contract actually mean you're safe? Well, not exactly. The best way to think about it is like buying a used car. A verified contract, that just confirms the token's identity. It's kind of like checking the car's VIN number to make sure it matches the title and isn't stolen. Super important first step, for sure. But what we're doing today is the control check. This is where we pop the hood, look at the engine, and most importantly, we figure out who's holding the keys. Because identity is one thing, but power, that's the whole ballgame. And that difference between just knowing what something is and knowing who controls it, well, that brings us right to the heart of this explainer. What in the world is control risk? Okay, so control risk is basically the risk that a very small group, maybe even just one person, can just change the rules of the token whenever they want. We're talking about huge things here, like creating more tokens out of thin air, freezing your ability to move your own money, or even completely rewriting the code. Now listen, this isn't automatically a bad thing. Some projects, especially new ones, might need these controls, but it is a fundamental, non-negotiable piece of the puzzle that you have to understand before you go any further. So how do you figure all this out without spending days reading code? Well, that's what we're here for. Let's walk through a super simple checklist you can use in like 60 seconds. Our little sanity check hits 4 main points. First, supply control. Pretty simple. Can they just make more? Second, transfer restrictions. Can someone somewhere hit a button and stop you from moving your tokens? Third, upgradeability. Can the rules of the game be changed after it's already started? And finally, the big one, the controller. Who actually holds all this power? So let's start with supply control. The question you have to ask is there some kind of mint authority, an owner, or a special role that can just increase the total supply? This is so fundamental. Are you buying a slice of a pizza that has a fixed number of slices, or a pizza that the chef can add more slices to whenever they feel like it? All right, next up, transfer restrictions. You want to look for functions in the code with names like freeze, blacklist, or pause. And they do exactly what they sound like. They're switches that could be flipped to stop you from sending your tokens anywhere. I mean, think about that. It's the difference between truly owning something and just holding it until someone else says you can move it. Then we've got upgradeability. Now, this one's a little more technical, but it is so important. You need to know if the contract is what's called a proxy. If it is, that means an admin can just swap out the entire rulebook, the actual code, at any time. Now, they might do this for a good reason, like to fix a bug, but you have to admit that is a massive amount of power in one place. And really, all these questions lead to the big one. Who is the controller? Have they renounced ownership, which means nobody has these special powers anymore? Is control held by a multi-signature wallet, where it takes, say, 3 out of 5 people to agree on a change? Is it a DAO, where token holders vote? Or, and this is the one you gotta watch for, is it just a single regular wallet? The answer to that question changes everything. Now, here is probably the most important rule of this whole thing. If you're looking for answers to any of these questions and you just can't find clear proof, you do not get to be optimistic. You don't just assume everything is fine. You have to label that point unknown. Because uncertainty, my friends, is its own kind of risk. Okay, so we know what questions to ask. That's the what. But what about the how? Where do you actually go to find these answers if you're not a security expert? Thankfully, your toolkit here is pretty simple. Your number one go-to is always a block explorer, like Etherscan or SolScan for Solana. They usually show you the owner, if it's a proxy, and other key details right on the main page. From there, you can check that against the project's official documents, their white paper, and if they have one, a dedicated security page on their website. You're looking for evidence, not just promises. And that brings us to such a critical point. When a team says something like, minting is disabled, you can't treat that like a marketing slogan. It's not a claim, it's a statement of fact that has to be backed up by cold, hard, on-chain evidence. If you can't see the proof, the claim is just words. So a project's website saying, hey, trust us, minting is turned off, that's a weak signal. It's just a promise. What you're looking for is strong evidence, verifiable proof on the blockchain that the Mint Authority has been sent to what's called a burn address, making it impossible to ever use again. See the difference? One is a promise, the other is basically math. Okay, so you've done the check. You've found some controls, now what? The next step is super important. You have to read the results calmly. The goal here isn't to get scared, it's just to understand what you're looking at. Let's just walk through what some of these results might mean. If minting is possible and a single wallet controls it, that's a huge concentration risk. If there are freeze or blacklist functions, you're looking at policy risk. What if a regulator forces them to freeze assets? And also, let's be honest, exit risk. An upgradable proxy, that's admin risk. One person could change everything. And hey, even renounced ownership, which is great for reducing control risk, does absolutely nothing to protect you from good old-fashioned market risk. Every control tells a story. So how do we make this whole process a habit? Well, I want to show you a really simple tool you can use every single time you look at a new token. Let's call it the control card.
And here it is, the control card. It's so simple. For any token, just fill out this little table. What's the status on supply control? Who controls it? What about transfers? Is it upgradable? By just filling this out, you take all that vague anxiety and turn it into a structured, clear-eyed process. It's a game changer.
And I have to say it, quick reminder that all of this is for educational purposes. It is not financial advice. Every single crypto asset has a risk of total loss, so please, you have to do your own research.
So there you have it. You now know how to check the rules of the game. You can see who has the power to mint, to freeze, to change the code. But that leads us to the next massive question, doesn't it? Knowing who controls the rules is one thing, but who's actually holding all the tokens? That's one half of the puzzle. Next time, we're going to tackle the other half, token distribution. See you then.